When it comes to acting, one of the most powerful ways to capture an audience's heart is through crying scenes. Whether it's shedding silent tears, a sudden outburst of emotion, or a breakdown that lingers in the memory long after the show ends, crying scenes are a true test of an actor's skills. But not all crying scenes are equal. It's not just about shedding tears, it's about conveying raw emotions that make viewers cry along with them. So, who are the actresses praised by netizens for their genuine, heart-wrenching crying scenes? Let's count down the top 10 strongest crying actresses according to netizens. 10. Although Yang Mi's acting skills have often been a topic of debate, her crying scenes never fail to garner praise. Her big, expressive eyes and ability to switch between emotions seamlessly create a memorable impact. She doesn't just cry with her eyes. You see it in her expression, her demeanor. It's like she's pouring her whole soul into those tears, one fan shared. Yang Mi once demonstrated her talent on a variety show hosted by Deng Luan, showcasing her ability to cry on cue, tears falling within just a few seconds. It's like she has a switch she can flip whenever she wants, another commented. She delivered unforgettable crying performances in Eternal Love, Legend of Fuyao, and Novo Pearl Eclipse. In Eternal Love, her eyes were red with sorrow and determination. It was heart-wrenching. A fan remembered. Even though she looks graceful while crying, it doesn't diminish the authenticity of her emotions. She has definitely come a long way since reportedly being slapped across the face as a rookie for failing to meet the director's expectations for a particular crying scene. 9. Qin Lan's approach to crying scenes is subtle yet deeply moving. She doesn't rely on loud sobbing or exaggerated facial expressions. Instead, she captivates with a quiet, restrained style that leaves a lingering sadness. Her performance in Story of Yanxi Palace is still a benchmark for many. Qin Lan's crying is all in the eyes. You can see the pain and heartbreak in her gaze, and when those tears fall silently, it's so beautiful yet utterly heartbreaking, a viewer shared. From We Are All Alone to The Eight, Qin Lan's tearful scenes always leave a lasting impression. It's hard to forget the moment she shot her lover at the end of The Eight, the despair and agony in her expression. Even her tears seemed to carry the weight of her anguish, another praised. Peng Xiaoran gained widespread recognition for her crying prowess in Goodbye My Princess. She cried almost throughout the entire show, yet every scene felt fresh and moving. She has a way of making you feel every heartbreak with her, one fan said. The most iconic moment was when Xiaofeng realized the devastating truth that Li Chengyin was behind the massacre of her people. She cried so hard her eyes turned bloodshot. I felt like I was going to cry my heart out too, another commented. Peng Xiaoran continued to prove her emotional range in June Juling. Even when the male lead wasn't that appealing, I kept watching just to see her crying scenes. She can pull you into her world with her emotions, whether it's tears of anger, sadness, or frustration. Peng Xiaoran makes every tear count. Tan Songyun's crying scenes are well loved for their sincerity and earnestness. Her style is less dramatic but more heartfelt, which makes it easy for the audience to connect with her emotions. She doesn't just act sad, she becomes the sadness, making every tear feel like it's coming from a place deep inside, one fan shared. In Under the Power, when she reunited with Lu Yi on the battlefield and cried out of both love and pain, viewers couldn't help but cry with her. It was a reunion filled with both hope and despair. Her tears flowed so naturally it didn't feel like acting at all, commented a netizen. She also shone in The Sword and the Brocade, where she beautifully balanced strength and vulnerability. Zhao Liying is an actress who never holds back during her crying scenes, which is why they resonate so deeply with her fans. She cries as if she's really experiencing the pain. You can see the agony in her whole body language, not just her face, a fan remarked. In The Story of Minglan, Zhao Liying delivered a particularly memorable performance. When Minglan mourned her grandmother, the grief she displayed was raw and overwhelming. She was sobbing with all her strength, like someone truly crushed by the weight of the world, another commented. In Princess Agents, her character's emotional breakdowns felt so real that viewers couldn't help but be pulled into her turmoil. Zhao Liying doesn't care about looking pretty when she cries as the character would cry, regardless of how her face looks on camera, one viewer shared. Her ability to immerse herself fully in her character's pain has made her a standout in the industry. Sun Li is an actress whose crying scenes have become iconic moments in television history. Her portrayal in The Legend of Jin Huan is still considered one of the best crying performances ever. When Jin Huan realizes the extent of Emperor Yongjing's betrayal, she doesn't scream or wail. She just stands there with silent tears streaming down her face, her eyes filled with 1,000 emotions. It's unforgettable. A fan exclaimed. Even in Jia, she showcased a wide range of emotions, from tears of grievance to pure despair, making each scene resonate deeply. Watching Sun Li's crying scenes, it's almost impossible to see her acting. She just becomes the character, feeling every emotion with all her heart, one netizen pointed out. Sun Li's crying isn't just about tears, it's about storytelling. Each tear carries a narrative that leaves a deep impression. 4. Nini's performance in Love and Destiny left a significant impact on viewers. She's got a way of making you feel every nuance of emotion, even when she's not saying a word, a netizen commented. From innocence to despair, Nini explores every level of sorrow in her characters. One scene that stood out was her emotional farewell to her father in the mortal realm. It was as if all the sadness in the world was concentrated in that one moment. Her eyes were red, her voice choked, but she held back her tears just enough. It was masterful, a fan shared. Nini's ability to convey complex emotions through her tears has made her a favorite for roles that require a deep emotional resonance. 3. Bai Lu's crying scenes have been a hot topic since One and Only. When she learns that Zhao Shengqian suffered evisceration punishment, it was like she shattered into pieces right in front of us, a viewer lamented. When she cried and laughed through her tears, it felt like the world was crumbling around her, another shared. Bai Lu herself admitted that filming One and Only was emotionally draining, and she struggled to move on from the sadness her character experienced. It felt like I was grieving a loss that wasn't my own, she revealed in an interview. Her tears don't just express sorrow, they also show her character's desperation, love, and courage. 2. Many netizens have praised Li Qin's crying scenes, noting her distressed face that makes her especially convincing in emotional moments. Her ability to cry on screen is incredibly moving, leaving a lasting impact on viewers. One of her most memorable crying scenes, according to fans, was in Princess Agents, where her portrayal of suffering was deeply heartbreaking. Even in the drama The Song of Glory, Li Qin had several crying scenes. Her character, Anu, shared a sisterly bond with Qin Lan, and when Anu sacrificed her life, the emotional weight of that moment, especially when she gave her slave cuffs, was overwhelmingly painful. 1. Topping the list is none other than Yang Zi, who is known for delivering some of the most heartbreaking crying scenes in recent years. Whether it's Ashes of Love or Lost You Forever, she cries so heartbreakingly that you just want to reach into the screen and hug her. A fan commented, "She's not afraid to ugly cry, and she cries as if she's lost everything. She truly gives it her all," another added. Yang Zi's ability to convey deep emotions through her tears has earned her the title of the strongest crying actress among her peers, and no one can take that crown away from her anytime soon. Which actress's crying scene left the deepest impression on you? Let me know in the comments.